Okay, Math 9, here we go. We're going to continue on our algebra train. And what I've done is I've broken this next section 3.3 into 3 separate videos because this section's pretty heavy and it gets actually probably 4 separate videos and it gets quite involved. So we're going to do it one idea at a time. And the first idea is, what do we do when we have brackets? So what does that mean? It looks like this. Now this is the abstract. It's done with letters. And we're doing what's called distributing. The A is multiplying into everything, because what you have is you have A times all of that. Remember when we did BEDMAS, if you had a number next to brackets, it meant multiplication in here, right? And that's where we're at now. So what happens when you multiply that A in is you end up with A times B plus A times C. You have to multiply it in with everything. So what does that look like for us? Well, I'm not going to use the word distribute. I'm not going to say distributivity. I'm just going to say water bomb. This is what I say all the time. This is what it says in my notes. So get used to hearing it from me. So what you get here is you get 2 needs to multiply into there and into there. Because imagine we need to bust down those brackets. So we're basically hitting those brackets with a tidal wave, okay? Everything needs to get hit. So we get 2r plus 12 equals 2. Now this is a very common error. People forget to multiply both things. What you'll notice as your math gets a little bit more advanced is how important brackets are, because brackets and distributing, water bombing, it becomes more and more readily available and more apparent that we use it all the time. So be really careful here. Once we're done the water bombing though, it becomes a 2-step algebra question. So I'm going to go minus 12, 2r equals 0, and then divide by 2, r equals 0. So you can see with respect to our algebra, we're only adding one additional step. Everything else we've done before. So let's look at a few more examples. So again, we're just going to multiply in. We're going to water bomb into there, and we're going to get 4s plus 16 equals 28. And then it becomes 2-step algebra. Minus 16, 4s equals 12, and then divide by 4, s equals 3. Now for the next one, there's a negative out front. Remember, that means a -1. So it's going to multiply into there, it's going to multiply into there. It changes the signs of all of my things. So I end up here. Minus 5, Now I have -r equals 5. Remember, I don't want -r, so I can multiply or divide by a -1. -1. So the negatives cancel. R equals -5. So again, we're just adding one additional step. So obviously it gets a little bit more fully loaded. So here we go. We have to get rid of all of the brackets. So we're going to water bomb into there and there. And then remember, the sign in front of a number belongs to it. So into there and there, and then into there and there. So we get 3x plus 12 minus 4x minus 24, that's where you got to be really careful with the negatives, equals 2x minus 6. And now we're doing what we did from video, combining like terms. So I have 3x minus 4x is negative 1x. I have 12 minus 24 is negative 12. And then on the right, I just have 2x minus 6. And now my goal is get my x's and non-x's together. So minus 2x from that side gives me 0. Minus 2x from that side. So that step will give me negative 3x. But then I don't want the negative 12 on this side. So I'm also going to add 12 here, add 12 here. You can do it in 2 separate steps, or you can do it all in one. And you end up with negative 3x equals 6. Last step, divide by negative 3. Cancel, cancel. Divide by negative 3. X equals negative 2. Now at this point you might be thinking, I'm going fast, but I'm hoping that you have mastered the previous steps first. If you have not, definitely go back, watch those videos, practice those workbooks more, because you can see I take for granted the last few steps now, and I'm only focusing on our newer step. So that's all I have for brackets, because remember, I've broken section 3.3 into 4 separate videos, but just remember, you are water bombing into everything. Keep it up.